Shabbat Shalom. Bereishit. What does it mean to truly begin again? We have just come through High Holy Days, and now we have done readings for both Sukkot and Simchat Torah. We have reviewed, we have repented, we have pleaded for redemption and renewal. Hopefully, the work that we did during those days of awe inspired God to move from the throne of judgment to have compassion upon us all. Many believe that the book of our lives is still open through Simchat Torah. When we roll the scroll, we do the end and we go back to the beginning and we chant Bereishit, which we will be doing that very first chapter. As a people, as individuals, and as Am Yisrael, we are always meant to be evolving, moving forward, looking back, reviewing, rewinding, and resetting ourselves to reposition ourselves and to come more into alignment with the divine that is within us all, and reveal an ongoing connection to our ultimate purpose and reason for being here at this time, to live life fully, completely in a state of peace, sharing the best of ourselves with others, and yes, constantly growing, reaching to do mitzvot, to give tzedakah, to do tikkun olam, repair of our world. When we chant the origin of our creation, we are meant to remember that God spoke and the entire world came into being. Why? For us. To experience life in the garden in physical form and to embrace Eden, to delight in the abundant bounty that God has provided. And yet, because we are human and our soul's evolution depends on our experiential growth, we were almost destined from the very start to sin and err, to take that apple and to risk everything for the sake of knowledge. We set a chain of events into action that guaranteed the necessity for teshuvah, repentance and redemption. Just as God created the world, we created one where the struggle between good and evil, the Yetzer HaTov and the Yetzer Hara, would be our constant guide and our obstacle to overcome, to merit the bliss that's truly intended for all of us in the garden, the one from the beginning of time and the one that we are meant to create for ourselves now at this time. God gave us the structure and the roadmap to follow, but the path to take has always been our own. Free will and ultimate choice was ours. What we did with it, what we still do with it, is up to us. The garden and life became commingled as the resources that God gave became our opportunity to evolve our soul's tikkun, or karma, in this lifetime. At this time, we are meant to reflect upon our wanderings through the wilderness and how God provided for us. We left the shelter and the life that we knew. However horrible and enslaved we were, that's all we knew. To reach and have faith, to reach for something more, something better, something that was truly ours. Our nomadic life, however fragile, was supported by God as we moved toward a new future. A future founded on faith in the unseen, founded on Torah and blessed with freedom of choice, free will, and the power to actually create on our own, be not slaves, but co-creators with God as we were destined to do from the beginning, create something for ourselves, something better. And yet the Sukkah reminds us that truly everything is temporary, much as what we experienced in the wilderness. We were able to go forth and to move on and to build homes and lives filled with abundance and possessions. But we are always meant to remember, especially now as we wrap up the time since Yom Kippur, That no matter how much we have, we cannot take those physical things with us when we go. And that we must keep ourselves mindful that the real bounty that lasts is the love that we share, the relationships that we build, that we nurture, and our influence in the world. Let us remember that this is what is permanent, and this is the legacy, our legacy that lives on. The love that we share with each other, and even the love that we need to manifest for our own selves, that is going to give us the ability to make our mark and to move forward when our time in this physical plane is done towards the spiritual realm, knowing that we left the world better for our having been here. And this is one of the reasons why we do Yizkor at this time, and we remember our loved ones, honoring them, giving merit to them, just as we do in the Amidah with our ancestors in the Torah. The lesson of Sukkot is to remember that it is our faith that propels us forward with God as our constant guide, and that we are never alone, because in the Sukkah, we are home. The home that can be found in the acceptance of impermanence and surrender to God's divine will. Understanding that there is a plan and we are not in charge, and that actually it's so much better if we just let go, as we said during the holy days, if we just go with the flow and trust that whatever is in our highest and best purpose, it's coming. And we just let go and find our way by listening to the voice in our soul that is our own guide in connection with God. The Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God that hovered over the waters at the time of creation, hovers around us always, guiding us. So as we go forward, I want to tell you a story. I debated about sharing it all through the Yamim Noraim, High Holy Days, and then I thought, no, it's a story for Sukkot. Because Sukkot is a time when we build our sukkah and we welcome in visiting angels, the ushpizim, the messengering individuals from our past that are meant to lead us forward. And so I was sending a package, and they told me that the box that I had was going to not be good enough, and I needed their box or whatever. So I'm trying to stuff all this stuff into their box so it would be less expensive, but still keep the integrity of what I was sending. And this man looks at me, and I don't have tape because I had already taped up a box. And so he's like, you're going to have to get tape from them. So I'm like, okay. I get tape from them, and it's the tape roller. How many really know how to use that shipping tape roller? It gets all over me. I cut my fingers, and anyway. So he looks at me, and he is almost angelic, very calm presence. And he says, why don't I help you? Let me show you the trick. It's all in the wrist. And he's doing this thing with the tape gun. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. Thank you for helping me. I think it's in your wrist, it's not in my wrist. So anyway, he helps me with my package. And then I get in line. But he still hasn't taken care of his package. And suddenly now, 8 more people are in line. So I get up to the front, and he's finished with his package. And I turned to everyone, and I was like, actually, he was ahead of me, but he stopped to help me. We did a mitzvah. He helped me with my package. He really should come ahead of me. And starts to make these faces at me, And then he looks at me and he says, no, it's fine. I am trying to train myself to take these moments to just meditate and be. I don't need to be in a rush. I can help you with your package. I can let all these people go ahead of me. And as I stand here, I will just breathe and be in the moment and find the peace that resides within me. And this is going on at the post office. Letters to God, letters to us. And I look at him, and there's a lot of people who are like, can you just go? I'm like, wait. He has some serious knowledge to impart to us. I said, let us all breathe in the peace that is to be found within our own being. So I have them all breathe in. And he's like, yes, okay. So I turn in my package, and as I was leaving, I looked at him and I said, you really are extraordinary. And he said, we all are. And he said, we just need to pause. Try to meditate. Take those moments that feel so rushed and hurried and harried and just be. That is a lesson of Sukkot. That is a lesson for this year. So how many of you ever feel rushed or harried? I was in the car with someone who said to me she will never drive with me again if I ever try to make that yellow light. And I thought to myself, because I was thinking about the guy, and I'm like, you know what? Now I've been upsetting people because I'm like, my tire isn't quite in the crosswalk. I'm just going to sit here and meditate while all the cars go by. But you know what? Everyone's in a hurry. So let us take the time in our lives and recognize those little moments that we can string together, like the chains that we decorate the sukkah with, where we can create and manifest peace in our home, in our soul, in the sukkah, the houses our own being. So as we wrap up our holy days and rewind our Torah and our personal scrolls back to the beginning, let us plant a few more seeds for the year to come, for peace, abundance, and fruition. Let us pause to connect to our breath. Everyone take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And to the home, close your eyes, the home that we have in our soul, that we actually connect to in the Shema. Let us be mindful and know that we are never alone because God is always with us. As Ruach Elohim, the spirit of divinity hovering over the waters as the earth and the sky were separated, making the space for all of us to dwell within, giving us that gift of life, creating a glorious world for us to learn our lessons in and grow beyachad together, surrounding us with blessing and light. May we take the time to reflect and rejoice in all that we have been given and share our abundance and take delight in the knowledge that we are never truly alone. May God be with us as we go forward into this new year, and may we all be blessed for the purpose of sharing. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.